What's going on? Welcome to the video. Today we are tackling how to get your first 1,000 followers on Instagram. And I know there's a ton of other videos out there talking about getting to 5, 10, or even 100,000 followers. And so many people watching that are thinking, I can't even get close to 1,000. So this video is for you. We're gonna put an action plan together specifically for you to help you get to that 1,000 follower milestone and beyond. So let's go through it. We're gonna go through every single step, everything you need. So let's get right into it and let's grow your Instagram account. Let's do it. So for the sake of this video, to make it both easy to consume and easy for us to plan and put together, it is split into 4 different sections, all of which will be very helpful in helping you to grow your account. But if there's one area of focus you have right now, feel free to jump to that timestamp that makes the most sense for you. But I strongly recommend watching this video throughout because every single thing we're gonna touch will help you grow, and it's going to be very important that you have it right in order to grow as fast as possible. So the first section we have is setting up the account, because naturally, to grow an Instagram account, you first need to have one. But it's not as simple as just setting up an account and watching it grow. There are a bunch of things that go into setting up an account the right way that you wanna get right from the beginning to get growth as fast as possible. The first thing that you need to have figured out is a very solid understanding of why this page exists and how it's going to grow. So what I mean by that is who's gonna follow this page, and realistically, why are they following it? What do they get from your content that warrants them clicking that follow button and consistently engaging and wanting more of that content? And this sounds so obvious, but you would not believe how many DMs I get from people complaining that their accounts aren't growing when there's no clear reason for people to follow. There's no value prop to the page whatsoever. So you have to be realistic with yourself and understand who you're targeting and why that group of people would sign up for your content. What are they getting out of it? Because naturally, people are thinking selfishly with their time, which is what they're investing in you if they decide to follow your content. So there has to be an equitable return on that time, on that investment. And a really quick way to get that understanding is asking yourself 2 very simple questions. Why would someone follow us? So what is the value that they get from it? And who is the type of person that wants that value? The more of a solid understanding that you have on both of these things, the faster your account will grow. And once you have an understanding of who you think your ideal follower is, I recommend going to reach out to them and actually asking them, what do you want? What can improve your day? What kind of content are you looking for? Would you follow this page if we provided that? If the answer is not yes, you still have a bit of work to do, but having this deep understanding will make growth so much easier. The next step in setting up your account is picking a username, and here are 2 quick rules to follow. The first is you want it to be as short and concise as possible and as obvious as possible. And what I mean by obvious is that the name should be as related to the niche or the content you're posting as possible to really just make the whole thing obvious for anybody who wants this kind of content. It should all just make sense. And the second tip is to avoid making your username look spammy. So avoid a bunch of numbers, bunch of periods, underscores, anything that makes it look spammy or that it could be a bot. Do your best to make it clear, short, concise, and obvious. In addition to a username, you also get to pick a name on Instagram. And the rule of thumb here is just to try to include a search-friendly keyword related to your content or niche in your name. So what I mean by this is just think about a phrase that you think your ideal follower would be searching for on Instagram. By including it in your username, it increases the likelihood that when they do search it, your account shows up. So just think about what that keyword or phrase may be for you and include that in your name. The next section is your bio, and you want to make sure to have a strong and clear bio. A lot of people overlook these steps and they think that it's not that important, but these play such a huge role in how many people decide to actually follow you after we've driven them there from your content. It should be so obvious that they want to follow, and the language and structure that we use for the bio will dictate whether people resonate with it or not. When the right people visit our page, we want it to be an absolute no-brainer to follow and sign up for more content because it is what they want. And we can effectively achieve this in our bio by answering a few basic questions. Your bio should very clearly say who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. So if you can do this effectively, whenever that person who is your ideal follower gets driven to your page, following becomes a no-brainer because you're speaking their language. This is what they want. So this will dramatically increase your conversion rate and help you get growing far faster. Plus, a huge added bonus to being thoughtful about your bio from the very beginning is that the head of Instagram has come out and said that Instagram scans through your bio as well as the captions on your content, looking for keywords or indicators to determine what kind of account that you are to then in turn show you to the right people. So the more thoughtful you are with your keywords and the language that you're using in your bio from the very beginning, you help make Instagram's job easier, which will only help you grow. And the final step in setting up your account is to just get some content out there. When you are a brand new account, it's a difficult sell to get people to follow you, especially if you have no content, because people just think that you're a spam or a bot account. So by getting 9 posts out there, it shows that you're active. Plus, through each of these 9 posts or 12 posts, whatever you decide to get out there at the beginning, you can include captions, which will then show again that you're not a bot or spammy, increasing the likelihood that any traffic we drive to your page could result in followers. And for these first 9 or 12 posts, don't stress quality too much here. This is just to get some content out there, get the ball rolling, and to show people that you are an actual account. You're not a spam or a bot, and what they can expect moving forward for the type of content you're posting. And just like that, your account is now set up for success, and we can move on to section 2, Networking. So naturally, as a new or a small page, we don't have many or any followers, and networking is one of the best ways to actually start building your audience and start getting some momentum and engagement on your content. And here's exactly how you can easily make these initial connections to get the ball rolling. First, search through hashtags in your niche and then go seek out accounts that are similar to yours, both in niche in terms of their content as well as in size. You then want to follow these accounts, and as you're going through this and you find accounts that are both active and meet the previous criteria, you want to follow these accounts and start building your initial group of like-minded creators. Follow between 10 and 20 of these accounts per day. Why you don't want to do more is because the more that you try to do, the less authentic it likely will become, meaning the less success you'll get from it. Plus, if you do too many actions too quickly, you can get hit with an action block from Instagram, which can be really bad for your account. So as you're following these like-minded accounts, you want to interact with their content in a genuine way. So you want to like their content and you want to leave thought-provoking or stimulating comments showing that you're not just spam commenting on everybody's stuff. We're really trying to build connections here because this is going to be our initial peer group that's going to help us get momentum on our future content to actually reach a bigger and wider audience. But if you don't get the ball rolling at all, you can't get to that point. So authenticity is very, very important here. Take the time to do it right. You're going to get way better results. So after an appropriate amount of time and engagement with their content, you then want to actually reach out to introduce yourself. And an appropriate amount of time will depend on the person, but you'll get a feel for what is creepy versus what isn't. And then when you do send this DM, you want it to be, again, very authentic and genuine as to what your intentions are, what you do, and why you like their content and why you want to connect. If you do this, naturally, you're going to build relationships and they're going to support you the same way you're supporting them. And you'll be surprised. Most of them will reply and follow you back and support your content. And those that don't take it too personally. This is very much a numbers game, and think about it a lot like real life. Not everyone likes everybody. It's just part of the game. So don't stress over the people that didn't respond. Focus on the people that did and start building that strong initial follower base and support group. And so many people stress about sending DMs thinking that it's too creepy or whatever, but I strongly recommend sending DMs and doing so authentically and really just shooting your shot, because you will be surprised how receptive people are and the relationships that you can really develop that not only help your Instagram account, but also your life and business. Some of my best friends I've met initially through Instagram DMs. So get out there and shoot your shot. The more that you do it, the more you'll see that people don't find it that creepy or creepy at all. And you'll start building strong relationships through Instagram that also help grow your account. The next step is, after you've done this and you've built your initial support group of like-minded or similar creators, you then want to start using their audience to your advantage. Go to their content and look for the users that are the most engaged. Who's commenting, who's liking their stuff consistently. These accounts are super valuable to you because they've shown you a few things. They've shown an interest in the niche that you're talking about or that you're creating in. Plus, they've shown a willingness to follow smaller accounts, which is huge because this just means that any action or interaction that you have with them is far more likely going to lead to a follow because they've shown that they've done this kind of behavior in the past. So start following these people as well. Again, about 10 to 20 per day, taking it slowly and also authentically interacting with their content as well. And if these people aren't creators that are constantly publishing, it's far less likely that they get much engagement, if any, on their content. So your interaction with them, especially if it's done authentically, will have a huge impact and dramatically increase the likelihood that they follow you. But this is truly a goldmine for potential valuable followers for your account because they like the niche and they're willing to follow and interact with a smaller page, which is massive for you. So as you're going through the networking stage, there's two things that I need you to remember. First, take it slow, and second, be authentic. And to drive home why this is so important, go back to real life. Think about someone who has a ton of friends and then someone who thinks they have a ton of friends, but people don't actually really like them. The difference typically is the time and attention that they put into building the relationship and how authentic they were when interacting with those people. We want to be the person with a lot of friends, not thinking that we have a lot. And you'll achieve that by taking things slow and by being authentic. And as we do this, we'll be growing our follower base at the exact same time, building a very strong support group as our initial base for growing the account. The next section is engage, and this is very tightly connected to network, but this is just really the maintaining of these relationships. So consistently be engaging with the accounts that you followed and continue to build these authentic relationships. And why this is its own category is because if you don't do this correctly and you use your engagement too much or too inauthentically, Instagram has triggers in place to detect this and then penalize you for doing so. So if you don't take it slow and if you're not authentic through doing this, you're not going to get the benefits that are potentially here. Plus, you can actually get hit with negatives for your account. So as you're going through the engagement phase of this, which will be ongoing until you build up momentum where you can do less and less of it over time. But it's always a great practice to be supporting other accounts that support you. So set a bit of time every single day to get into Instagram and engage with these accounts that you are following and that you are trying to connect with. What we want to do here is to get more people remembering who we are. We want to strengthen our relationships, all while staying in Instagram's good book. So not going crazy with our engagement. We want to be building real and authentic relationships as well as followers and supporters for our content. And if you're looking for a specific number of how many comments to leave every single day. It's difficult to give specifics, but if you stay under 50, typically you're going to be fine in the eyes of Instagram. So if that's the number that you can do on a consistent basis, start with 50 and you can slowly scale up from there, but do what is sustainable for you and avoid ever going to a number that is just too much to the point where you can't be authentic with each and every comment. It's going to defeat the purpose in many cases. Another added benefit of interacting with content every single day is some of these accounts may not have followed you back, or they may not have been receptive or even seen the DM that you've sent to this point. But by consistently showing up and engaging with their content, they're becoming far more familiar with you, and it's far more likely that they will either see the DM, respond, as well as follow you back. So this is definitely a longer term approach, but it is far more authentic and will give you more success long term. And after a few weeks of interacting with accounts, if you've noticed that they still haven't followed you back or they haven't replied to your DM, the choice to unfollow is really yours. I would just say if you actually do enjoy their content, maintain following them and continue to try to build that relationship. If you don't actually enjoy their content, then unfollow them because they weren't looking to make a new friend or to build a new connection on Instagram, and move on to the next one. There are so many more accounts out there that this strategy will work for, and they will be very receptive to building a relationship or following you in the first place. So engaging should be done daily and in a very authentic way, and this will be huge for getting the ball rolling, especially as a very small account. Even massive accounts make this a priority because it is so effective, but as a new or a very small account, it is nearly essential to do this and do it the right way to grow faster. So it's a great daily practice, but one that you definitely want to do as a small account. So that is engagement. Now let's move on to people's biggest concern and focus: content strategy. So content is going to be your best friend, but it's also most people's biggest confusion or concern. Content is going to be how people find you, why they follow you, and why they're going to stick around. So it is very, very important to have a solid understanding and a solid execution of your content strategy. So this is a subject that I could talk about for hours, but I know that you're not going to give me hours. So what I'm going to do in this video is give you some of the hard hitting points and things to focus on. And if you do want a far more detailed walkthrough of content strategy and how to put a plan in place, let me know by subscribing to the channel and then also liking this video, and I will work on that and bring that in the future. But here are the hard hitting content strategy focus points to get you to that 1,000 follower milestone. First, given your understanding of your audience and what they're looking for, you want to be posting out consistent content. And consistency will mean so many different things to different people. So a great rule to follow when posting your schedule is understanding that more is almost always better when it comes to Instagram, but you're better off remaining consistent. So set yourself up with a posting frequency that is manageable for you and your current situation. You can always improve this later, but by setting a number that you know you can stick to and staying accountable to that, it's going to help you get some momentum and actually get some feedback as to what kind of content works versus what doesn't. And by getting consistent content out there, while we've been networking and engaging in the previous two sections, if you don't have content getting pushed out there, you're not giving the same people the opportunity to reciprocate the engagement that you already gave to them, meaning you're not getting the benefit of having them in your community and in your network. So if you're getting content out there, you're getting some initial engagement from your new peer group, plus you're getting the opportunity to rank on hashtags or eventually get on the explore page, which will organically attract new followers and fans and potential customers for your page. And on the note of hashtags, you want to be using 30 relevant hashtags on every single post. And I can't stress the importance of relevancy enough. Every tag you're using should be highly relevant to that unique piece of content that you're attaching it to. And there's been this myth flying around that you should be using between 8 and 12 hashtags, but I work one-on-one with Flick, which is a hashtag research tool, and they collect so much data across Instagram hashtags that they have confidently told me that the numbers just don't add up. The accounts that use 30 are getting better results than those using 8 or 12. So give yourself as many opportunities to be successful and benefit from hashtags by using 30 or as many as possible that are relevant every single piece of content. And I know that finding the right hashtags to use is a huge pain point for people on Instagram. So I do have some videos on my channel already, but I will be releasing an updated guide to finding the right hashtags for your account in the coming weeks. So be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that. The next content tip is super simple, but very critical. Conduct social listening. And all this is paying attention to your own content and what performs versus what doesn't, as well as your competitors and Instagram at large. If something is working for somebody else, if you can capture those elements of what made it successful, it's very likely to work for you. So constantly be adjusting your content strategy based on what's currently working and what your desired audience is currently resonating with. Posting content is great, but if you just continuously post without refining your strategy, you could be beating your head against a wall and not getting any sort of actual momentum. So by shifting your strategy to what's working, you're dramatically increasing your chances of getting success and doing so far faster. So set a bit of time to do this either once a week or once a month, whatever makes sense for you, and allow the social listening to help with content ideas as well as content styles. See what's working and allow that to add to your existing list of ideas. I strongly recommend batch creating content as well as batch creating ideas as you're going through and conducting social listening. This way you have a bunch of content catalog so you don't have to stress when you go to post, and you can easily stay consistent, which Instagram loves and your audience will love because you're showing up consistently. And for more help with content ideas, I recommend checking out Reddit, frequently asked questions on relevant websites to your niche, as well as social listening on your competitors' accounts, and even scrolling way back to their older content that performed very, very well. After some time has passed, it's likely that it will work really well again, so it may give you an awesome idea that could be game-changing for you. The next tip is to leverage Reels and video content as soon as possible. Reels are the biggest opportunity that new or small accounts have because every Reel has the potential to get a ton of reach because most of it is organic reach to people that aren't even currently following them. So even a tiny or small account has the opportunity to get a viral Reel that, if done correctly and if in your niche, could result in tons and tons of followers driven to your page quickly because of the push that Reels are currently getting. And I know that video can be very intimidating, but this is the future of Instagram. It's the focus that they have. So if you refuse to do it, all you're doing is leaving things on the table for yourself. So spend a bit of time social listening here as well, looking for common tendencies, things that people talk about, what works versus what doesn't, and then just start getting as many of them out there as possible. There is no limit to how many Reels that you should be posting, especially if they're within your niche and going to help your account. So for Reel strategy, I recommend a mix of trending things that are currently going on within Reels that are going viral, as well as things very specific to your niche. A blend of both of these approaches will give you the best results because if you just focus on viral trends, you're not going to get a targeted audience, but you're also missing out on the potential mass exposure. And if you don't make content specific to your niche, you're unlikely to attract that targeted audience and then keep them around for the value that you promised you'd give to them since they followed you. But get Reels out there as soon as possible and get as many of them out there as possible, and then use your results to dictate creation moving forward. And the final point on content strategy is to develop a consistent strategy. And I said that word in the weird way that I did because a strategy is very, very important, because if you're just simply posting blindly, you don't really get a feel for how you're doing, and you're also far less likely to track how things are going. So by putting a strategy and a plan in place, you're giving yourself the best opportunity to know what to change and also to know what's working. And this can be difficult and complicated. So if you do want a full content strategy video, let me know by doing those things that you do on YouTube, liking and subscribing and commenting to this video, and I can bring that forward. But here are a few quick notes when it comes to developing this plan and strategy for you. Outline your brand values and pillars. So essentially, what are the few things that you really represent and what do you provide to the people that are following you? Think about 3 to 5 things that are really the core principles for your page and why people would resonate with you. And for example, my brand pillars are social media tips and growth marketing, entrepreneur motivation / mindset, making money on social media, and owning your passions, whatever they are. Those are the 4 guiding principles that all of my content comes back to. So by having these, they're exactly what they sound like. They're pillars, so I can always go back to them. It also makes content creation far easier because I know, okay, this idea falls under this pillar, so it stays true to my brand. And this idea falls under that pillar, so it's achieving that purpose. Again, it comes down to clarity. So think about 3 to 5 different brand pillars for your unique page, account, and goals. So as you're putting your content strategy together and you're posting out content, you want to be thoughtful about posting different kinds of content to achieve your different goals for being on Instagram. And here are some examples of the different kinds of content. 1, trending / viral. So this is content that has the potential to reach a mass audience because it is massively relatable, or the point of value can resonate with a large amount of people. So this is great for attracting an audience, but unlikely to develop deep relationships or drive sales. So to remedy that, you want to also include the next style, which is nurturing content. So this is content really meant to drive specific value to your targeted audience and really build that relationship. It's unlikely this kind of content has the potential to go viral, but it is nurturing those relationships, allowing you to get the benefits from the other elements that you're trying to be on Instagram for, which is nurturing those relationships and getting sales. And the final type that we'll cover here today is sales-driven content. So naturally, if you do run a business or you do have offers, you want to include in your content strategy some points where you do express content with the primary goal of driving sales, if that's one of the goals that you have for being on Instagram. If you don't think about that, you don't put it into your strategy, you're probably never going to talk about it, or you're going to talk about it way too much. So by putting a plan in place with all these different types of content, all built around your brand pillars, you're going to be posting out consistent content that is true to your message and also in line with all of your unique goals on Instagram. I know that was a lot, but believe it or not, I could actually go way deeper on this subject. So if you would like to see that video, a full content strategy guide, let me know. That's the guide. If you go through and do every one of these steps and actually be thoughtful with your own unique specific situation, you will absolutely get to 1,000 followers and beyond. There are so many potential people out there that want your kind of content and want your value. You just have to put the plan in place and show up consistently, covering all these elements that we've covered in this video. So if anything was unclear, I strongly recommend going back, rewatching it. And if you have any specific questions for me, let me know in the comment section down below, or you can book a one-on-one consultation with me using the link in my bio on Instagram. But this is a guide that works and is repeatable. So follow each step, make sure you have every basis covered, and be consistent and patient, you will get to that 1,000 follower milestone if you put in the time and effort. And if growing your Instagram account and making money from Instagram is a primary goal of yours, this is the channel to help you do it. So don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you get notified next time I have another Instagram video. And if you're looking for some more quick hitting tips, be sure to download my free Instagram checklist down below. It gives you a quick step-by-step checklist to make sure that your account is optimized for success. I hope you took some value from this, and I look forward to hearing about all of your success on Instagram. And if you're looking for even more help, 2 videos are about to pop up on your screen that will help you out tremendously. So pick your favorite and I'll see you over there. Peace.